Hello and welcome back to my channel. I thought today, being Sunday, it's sort of my normal day where I try to get some sewing done, and I thought while I was down here that I would just, regular record myself just the way I normally am and chat with you guys about my current experience with lockdown. Stage 4 lockdown because of COVID in Victoria, in Australia. So we are currently back in lockdown. And if I've mentioned it in previous videos of mine, or you've seen other videos, and you think, weren't they really sort of just in lockdown? I can tell you, yeah, totally, yeah. And for me, it kind of feels like, in some respects, we've been in lockdown non-stop since March. This is just my personal experience, so I'm going to kind of share with you how lockdown and restrictions and stuff like that have impacted. I knew I'd get the word eventually. So how they've impacted my family and impacted me on a personal level. And then I can tell you the current restrictions as I understand them. So without being political or sharing any kind of my political opinions or anything like that, I basically, like most people these days, just suddenly heard a rumor on Facebook. A rumor that at midnight tonight, and I think this is on Wednesday just gone, so it's now Sunday the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day. And there was just a rumor that's like midnight tonight we're going to go into lockdown. And if you haven't watched my videos or you don't know anything about me, hello, my name is Catherine. I live in the beautiful Yarra Valley of Melbourne, Australia. And I am a stay-at-home mother of 10 children, and I stay home every day homeschooling my children. So largely, I'm not really, I guess, exposed to what's really going on unless I kind of try to engage into it. So here, I'll show you what I'm working on so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm hand quilting a king size quilt at the moment. But yeah, so I'm a married, stay-at-home mother of 10 children, just trying to live a simple, uncomplicated life, and just trying to be a nice person, being kind, and living a stress-free life. And I find that because it kind of feels like we've been in a perpetual lockdown since March last year, that I kind of feel like I've had enough of the ride and I want to get off now. So at the moment, we are allowed to leave our home for one of 4 reasons: exercise, receiving or giving care to another person, so like going to the hospital, doctor, etc. We can only travel within a 5-kilometer radius of where we live. And once you step off your property, you have to wear a mask. And I, like many other people, because I hear it everywhere, I'm over it. I'm totally over it. And I want my happy, peaceful little place back. Now, I can't control the government. I can't control the community or other people. I can only control myself. So I will firstly tell you how it has impacted me, and then I will tell you what I'm doing to be okay during this current stage of my life. So how it impacts me is the fact that I'm a very I consider myself to be quite an intelligent person, and I also consider myself to be a lot of fun. I love joking around and sharing funny, happy times. As I previously said, I am married. I've been married for nearly 17 years. And my spouse and I, if you go back and watch other videos of ours, we have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of joy in our home. And because I homeschool, we're used to being around each other all the time. But another friend of mine who homeschools, she kind of said something that made me go, that's so true. The world is our classroom. So what does that mean? That means that generally when other kids are in school, we might go to a museum, we might go swimming, we might go to the movies, we might catch up with friends, go to a playground, do any number of things. Now, we're a large group. We are. That is a fact. So when things like current lockdown occurs, I find that it's better for either me to go out and buy the food or my husband to go out and buy the food, and maybe only take a few of our children. So I went out this morning. I had to go food shopping. I had heard that there was once again panic buying, which is very dismaying for me. In previous times of panic buying, I haven't been able to even buy enough food to feed my family. I haven't been able to buy nappies. I haven't been able to buy dish soap, rubber gloves, toilet paper, enough meat to eat, milk. It forced us to shop basically daily, to rely upon family and friends to help us out, and also to deal with ridicule, comments, and dirty looks from other people when they saw what I was buying, as being accused of being a hoarder or a panic buyer. So I found that probably last March I was nowhere near as resilient as I am now. So go me! Personal development has occurred. And it actually bothered me a lot. I got really worried about having confrontations with people because I didn't want to have any. I got really worried about judgment and just ridiculous things. So a lot of the shopping was then done by my husband. He's a saint. He taught me how to drive a manual. So if he could do that, he can handle the shopping like it's nothing. But it was still difficult because the shop's literally being empty, or the shelves, sorry, literally being empty. It kind of really limited us with what we could buy. So you know that saying of like, I ain't running a restaurant, I'm not gonna make meals for everybody. That totally happened here. I had to do that. I had to have some chicken meals, some mince, some vegetarian, some eat whatever, me to eat less. And hey, I know these, like, you know, a lot of people then feel they have to insert a first world problems comments. I'm not really complaining. This is just, that's what life was like for us. And we got through it and we're okay. But today, when I went shopping, I did notice a few gaps and stuff in the shelves, which made me think there's been panic buying again happening. And, you know, I think it's a psychological thing that a lot of people go through when they panic buy. I think it might be like, we've been told this is going to be a 5-day lockdown. So we've been told that on Thursday, kids will be back at school and things will be kind of back to normal. I do not believe that. I do not believe that that will happen. But I'm hoping this is like reverse psychology, and me saying that actually makes it happen. But I just don't see how magically we'll just go back to doing whatever. So today I went shopping and the register operator was so very kind, because I suspect she knows that I have a very large family, and she actually was willing to put through multiple transactions so that I could buy enough meat to feed my family of 12 for probably 4 days worth of meat. And I'm really grateful for people like that, because I'm realizing that, you know, it's like my happy place is a little bit unsettled, And I just keep saying to myself, blessed are the peacemakers. Just be peaceful, and praying in my own heart that I will be peaceful, and praying that other people will be peaceful towards me. You know, it's never a bad time to pray. It's never. So yeah, I was a bit nervous before I went to the shops, but I think we survived. We have food in the house again, which is great. And it's not going to last us forever. So I think I didn't finish my thought before, was that I think when it comes to lockdowns, one reason why people panic is because there's a part of their brain that thinks if they go to the shops and they buy everything that they need for the next 6 weeks, it's like, ooh, I don't have to go back to the shops. But I think they then go like a bit crazy, and they think that they're buying 6 weeks worth of bread, but then they're buying like the same amount of quantities of things that it's impossible for them to go through in 6 weeks. So they're actually probably buying 6 months to a year worth of a lot of shelf staples and stuff like that. And then there become the limits and the trouble and the arguing and the difficulties and the stress, and different people cope in different ways. A lot of people are used to shopping a lot and filling their house up with stuff, so that when we're told things like the only shops that are going to be open will be essential services, places that, you know, petrol stations, supermarkets, etc., most retail will be shut down. People don't have the opportunity then to go browse Target, Big W, Kmart, etc. So they turn to the supermarkets. I don't know, but I tell you, I keep saying to myself, Catherine, you want a simple life? Just simple and peaceful. So in a lot of respects, life for us just continues on. We don't get to go out to the places we like to go to, or we choose to stay home because it's just easier. But it's tiring. I've been feeling like I've been going through a perpetual lockdown since March last year. We are now nearly 1 full year of pretty much staying home all the time. And not really seeing people. And I joked that it's like everybody needs to have a birthday in lockdown for it to be fair. Because, you know, we live in a world where people think everything has to be fair. I think it's almost coming true, what I've said. So my birthday's coming up and I'm fully expecting to have it in lockdown. It's just another day. It doesn't really matter. But so I've set a goal to flip a huge tire that we have in the backyard 20 times a day. And hey, if anything, it's going to make me a bit more buff. And I have started happily drinking coffee again because I want to, and I'm not going to spend the rest of my life worrying about what I eat or drink and thinking that one coffee might be responsible for making me overweight or anything like that. I'm reading the Bible more, praying more. There's many, many positives that come out of this time. But it's also just kind of tell me the why, like explain to me properly why we have these restrictions and these rules, and don't just make up, like it's so obvious if the government's just making stuff up. It's so obvious when it's scare tactics. Like, I just don't get why so many people are sucked into believing a lot of the stuff that's being told to them. And, you know, different people respond in different ways, but there's a real divide in the community because the assumptions made are astounding. If you don't do ABC, you care too much. If you do, if you're not so worried, you don't care. Or you don't know, you weren't there. What's that movie line? Yeah. So I'm gonna flip my tire. I'm going to sew quilts. I'm going to spend time with my family and stay the course, and it seriously having like a really simple, minimal method of homeschooling, like a set curriculum, it's good to go. Makes life a lot easier because we just continue on doing what we're doing. And I'm sure maybe one day we'll be able to see our extended families again. And the world will keep turning. And yeah, so I'd love to know how you guys are going, how, if you're in Victoria, how you're coping with lockdown, if it bothers you at all, if you're over it, if, you know, like, hey, if I'm like an introverted kind of person and I'm sort of over it, I'm suspecting that a lot of people are kind of over it. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on, trying to be positive, trying to live my simple life, because it's all about just not having a complicated life, really. We've got one life to live. I'm gonna try to enjoy it. I'm gonna keep trying to become a better driver, a better mother, better person, better wife, and see the positive in it. And in the meantime, just flip some tires. So that's it from me for now, because I need to shift and move my quilt around, and you don't really probably want to see all of that. But until next time, I'm gonna tell you again to take care, because I hope that you do. And I do hope that you subscribe, because that would just be awesome. And next time, I promise I won't talk about the thing that's happening, and hopefully I can share some kind of interesting update or thing that we're up to, and that'll be good. If you subscribe, you'll see that. So until next time, bye.